How
Mary
are
Beth,
you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's wonderful to see you again.
You too. This is so exciting. You know, I have had Royal Palace rugs in my home for 24 years. We still have them, we still use them. It's amazing to me. And let me just tell you, my house is like Grand Central Station. There were 10 people living in my house just a month ago. So, there's just always people there. And so the rugs really get a lot of work out at my place, and they hold up year after year after year. What's so great
Well,
about Royal Palace rugs?
that's really our differentiator, Mary Beth, and that is that we only use 100% wool pile in all of our rugs. The reason for that is because we can put tons of colors into our design palettes, and you can still see the difference between subtle shades. We can have the normal day spills and accidents, and the wool will be able to hold up to that. Your everyday traffic in a hallway, and the wool holds up to that. That's why we still produce, after 27 years at QVC, a hand-tufted rug using only wool, because then 20 some odd years from today, a customer will be able to give me a testimonial and say, I watched you and Mary Beth. She said she had them for over 20 years. Now I've had them for over 20 years. And that's what we're here to do.
Here's the thing, they're absolutely gorgeous. I always say it's not usually so hard to decide what size to get. What's the hardest decision is which color to get. So I'm
Right.
gonna have you take me through the colors. We're gonna start right down here with the beautiful burgundy. Explain the
Sure.
burgundy, and I will just say, P.S., I have a lot of burgundy in my house.
Yes, I remember you and David Venable, I believe, have been coming after us for burgundy rugs for some
Yeah.
time now. So burgundy for me is the classic rug color if you're decorating a formal space. Now, I'm not an interior decorator, so I'm not saying you have to do anything. You do
Mm-hmm.
whatever you like, but I love burgundy in our dining room. And in a dining room, the biggest size is always the best. So you have all your seats at the table and all the chairs are on the rug.
Yeah,
So that's
isn't
the
that
burgundy.
gorgeous?
Next to
Then,
that, I can see is the charcoal blue, which I actually have
right.
here in my family room, and I can hold that up in the bigger size of 5x7 with you have it in the accent rug. And that's just a fantastic new color
Wow.
that we're introducing with this today's bonus buy.
Yeah, and real quickly, I'll be honest with you. It's interesting because when I first walked out here into the studio, I thought, oh, that charcoal has some blue in it, which I really love. I'm a big blue fan. But it's interesting
Yes,
because
same.
now I looked at it from a different angle and it looked more like charcoal. So it's like
Right.
it's going to be a little bit of both, like a dark gray, but with a little bit of blue in it as well.
Right, right. The next one is going to be the sage. You have
Yeah.
the accent, and so do I. I
Yeah.
think the picture on QVC.com is a little bit greener than what the
Yes,
actual rug is,
I
but also I'm
agree.
looking at a camera. My iPad is a couple feet away, and my
Yeah.
eyes are not what they used to be from 27 years ago. So this is really a very traditional
Yeah.
sage for us. If you've been looking at Royal Palace rugs for the last 15 years, this is pretty much the sage that you have seen. It's
Yeah.
just a fantastic way to bring nature's colors into your home,
Yeah.
and this has kind of become a neutral for us over the number of years.
Very good, absolutely. And I agree with you. The picture on QVC.com makes it look like bright green. It's not a bright
Yes.
green, it's a rich
No.
green, is what it is.
Right.
And then here is the ivory. Let's talk, because here I left ivory till last, because that's where it's amazing how you can get 36 colors into one rug.
Yes, that's right. And ivory is going to be your safe harbor, your most neutral color. If you have a room that's decorated with a lot of dark furniture, dark paint, or wallpaper, and you want to brighten it up, ivory is a great way to do that. But you're still getting a total of 36 colors in every single one of the rugs that you're looking at, be it the accent rug like I'm holding up, or the 8x11 that you could put into a large family room or your dining room. They're all made exactly the same way. The only difference is the size of the rug and the scaling of the design. And real quick, I want to show you what this 36 color palette looks like,
Yeah.
because that's really the hallmark of a Royal Palace rug. Greater the number of colors we can put into our designs, the longer it takes, but the more value you get because now you can put a rug in one room and pull
Yeah,
out the burgundies. You can put it into a
right.
different room and pull out the golds and the blues that you have.
Hmm.
And you can redecorate over the years by swapping rugs out and putting
Yeah.
them in different rooms and completely refreshing them throughout your time with a Royal Palace rug.
And Dustin, how many colors do you typically find in a rug that's in one of the big box stores?
Well, most of those rugs, Mary Beth, are going to be a machine made rug, and you don't
Mhm.
really get more than 8 to 10 colors usually in a
Right,
machine made rug, and those
right.
rugs are made out of synthetic fibers. But
Hmm.
because we hand tuft our rug, we can say, you know what, this rug looks fine with 20 colors and it looks
Right,
good with 24, but it looks fantastic with
right.
36. So it takes more time,
Yeah.
kind of like paint by numbers, but what you get is a rug that really has such a fantastic, vibrant palette that's going to brighten up any room that you put it in.
I want to show you the prices again because now you've seen the colors, the ivory or the sage green or that charcoal, which is like a deep, deep blue. I love the charcoal and it's already popular. And then that burgundy. Again, it's not too bright of a red. It's a deep, deep color. But let's talk. I want to show you the prices again. Then we're going to go back to the sizes and then what this rug is all about. So the 2x3 size is gone, but we're leaving these out here so you can actually see what the colors are. But that 2 3x8, let's just talk for a moment. That is a runner, and so it's less than $50 a month to be able to get that runner. We'll place it in your home in a moment as to where that goes. That 5x7, about $60 a month for 5 monthly payments. Then we also have the 6x9, already very popular at $119.80 per month. And then the 8-foot by 11-foot, and that one is about $200 a month. But here's the other thing, your shipping and handling is included. So you don't have to tack on another 100 bucks, 75 bucks onto that price tag just to get it to your house. I want to go back to the runner now, 2 feet 3 inches by 8 feet. Dustin, tell me where people put runners.
Well, I think, Mary Beth, the first place that people will think of is a hallway because that's the
Yeah.
most trafficked area of your home. So if you have
Hmm.
wall-to-wall carpeting, maybe it's a little darker in that area
Yeah,
or a
or
little bit more
threadbare.
threadbare or right,
Hmm.
hardwood floors might be more scuffed. So instead of repairing or replacing, you can cover it up, but cover it up with something that is really artwork for your floor.
Hmm.
So hallways are great for runners, but I love that little area like a seating wall if you're lucky enough to have one in your home.
Yeah.
It looks great. Side of the bed is the same thing so that the first thing you wake up is not your old wall-to-wall carpeting or maybe cold hardwood or tile
Hmm.
floors. You get to put your toes into a nice half-inch thick wool pile runner on either side of the bed.
Right.
And I know I have repeated this story for 15 plus years, Mary Beth, but you told me once you put a runner at the island at your kitchen
Yes,
a
that's
long
right.
time ago, and I think that's a perfect space
Yeah.
because 8 feet is really a good length for a lot of the kitchen islands. It might go a little bit
Hmm.
longer than your kitchen island,
Yeah.
but you can stand on this just like you have one of those expensive gel pads. And yet, not only will it
Yeah.
be comfortable, Mary Beth, but because it's wool, it's going to stand up to the occasional spills of
Right.
your juices and your marinades and so on because it's made from 100% wool. They're easy to care of whether you are in the kitchen or in the hallway or in your bedroom.
One other place is if you have double doors, so you have French doors or you have, the double front doors. I have a runner in front of my front doors because it's a double door. And so that's another great place. Let's move on. I want to come back here to the big guy, the granddaddy, the 8-foot by 11-foot. Let me just ask you something, and this is an hour where I want to educate people on rugs because a lot of people go shopping for rugs and they really don't know what they're looking for, what they're looking at, if it's a good price and all that. So this one is priced at right around $1,000 at QVC. And and that's about $200 a month. When you're getting 100% wool, hand tufted, hand carved, luster washed, double sheared, and serged sides, and the cotton backing. You know, those kinds of rugs are the kind that are equivalent to those out there that go for thousands of dollars, isn't it?
Yes, yes. Now we only make Royal Palace rugs for QVC.
Right.
We have never produced our rugs for anywhere else, so I
Hmm.
can't even say what it might cost if it was at some big box store or department store.
Hmm.
But I guarantee you there would be a comma in that price,
Yeah,
unlike here at QVC.
absolutely.
And that's why we love bringing our rugs to the QVC customer as a fantastic value, be it a today's special value or a
Right.
today's bonus buy or a big
Hmm.
deal. It's bringing great designs in refreshed, updated colors
Hmm.
in a rug that you know you can have in that room for years and years to come. And we put those features that you just mentioned, like the serge sides and all that hand carving, into
Hmm.
a great affordable rug.
What about, you were mentioning, get the largest one for your dining room because then all of the chairs can stay onto the rug even when you push back from the table. I think that is a brilliant idea. It's 8 foot by 11 foot, so just make sure the room is that big. But
Right.
also in a great room, in a living room, anywhere where you've got a large area and you want it to be, you don't want wall to wall carpet, but you don't necessarily want it all just regular open floor either.
Yes, the 5x7 is a really great spot if you're talking about like maybe under a kitchen table, a
Here's a
little
5 by
nook
7.
area,
Yeah.
or that seating area. In my particular family room where I am right now, I have the 5x7,
Hmm.
but if I had the choice of which one would be here permanently, I would have gone with the 6x9 because it would cover up more of this 25-plus-year-old wall-to-wall carpeting that I'm sick and
Yeah.
tired of seeing on a daily basis. But the
Right.
5x7 is what I ordered because it was easier for this particular presentation.
Yeah.
The 6x9 is really like a Goldilocks size. It would
Hmm.
work perfectly in my family room here. This is the 5x7, so you can imagine it's a little bit bigger than this.
Hmm.
But the 6x9 could also work. Maybe you don't have a gigantic dining room table with,
Right.
12 chairs and all the leaves and everything. Maybe you
Right.
just have a 6-person table. The
Hmm.
6x9 could work with that. Could work the same in a kitchen for a standard kitchen table.
Hmm.
And when we talk about decorating for living rooms and family rooms and such,
Yeah.
you get to decide, do you want a rug big enough to cover up that floor and maybe go
Right.
under your furniture?
Right.
Or do you just want to showpiece the rug itself, like here in a 5x7? Maybe
Uh-huh.
you've got hardwood floors. You want to show those off too. The 5x7 can be a great
Yeah.
size for that.
It's interesting. Now, this is the 6 foot by 9 foot. Now, understand this table is a 4 foot diameter. Okay, so it can sit easily 4 people, probably 6 if you really crowded them in. But you could know that if you've got a table that feeds or seats 4, 6, that kind of thing, I would go with the 6x9. But if your table starts to seat 8 or 10, you absolutely have to get the 8 by 11 foot because otherwise it's going to look too small under the table. Now, let's go back to all those qualities. Real quickly, before we do the qualities, let's put up the prices again because I want to remind you that we take Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover Card. We have our own Q card. There's all those different ways to buy these rugs, whether it's your first time or you've been buying, the Royal Palace rugs for years and years, like me. But I want to remind you that 2x3 is gone, but we do have the runner 2 3x8 for $45.80 a month. The 5x7, less than $60 a month, and that's a great size. We'll talk more about that again. And then we have the 6x9, which is what is under this kitchen table that I'm sitting at. That's about $120 a month. And then we also have the 8x11, which is going to be less than $200 a month, shipping and handling included, etc. So other than your own state tax, I don't think there's any other thing you have to pay for. Let's talk about these qualities and we'll go through them one by one. Is this really hand tufted, not machine made?
Yes, yes, that is correct. We use what's called a tufting gun, and that is a machine that is able to push wool into. I'm going to flip over my color block backing.
Yeah.
If you just kind of imagine a big sheet of this backing, that's actually what's on the inside of the rug. So this tufting machine pushes the wool yarn into that. And what you would see on the other side is the surface of the wool pile.
Right.
And skilled craftspeople have a map, and it's kind of like paint by numbers, and they say, okay, this big area, this is all ivory, so I'm gonna tuft this area in ivory. All
Right.
right, well, now I got to switch it over to